comrade. It's a great time having you. This nothing can stop you. Motivational message I bring it to you. And my name is Mr. Kosei. Go to my YouTube channel. I have a channel. Nothing can stop you. Motivational message. You have a lot of videos. I have these myriad colossal videos. Watch them and subscribe to them. Nothing can stop you. Motivational message. Watch them and subscribe to them. Also, I want more subscribers and viewers. And also my YouTube on the same channel. I use the name Bismarck because I have another channel. Your marriage will be a state of mind to the world. A lot of teachings on dating, gossip, and marriage. Watch them and subscribe to them. I have more subscribers and views for you. Also, from you guys, also have these ebooks for you guys from Amazon, Kindle, and Gambot. Build your confidence in the crowded planet, $4. It will be impossible to have this world without you, $4. Your marriage will be a state of mind to the world, $5. There is something inside you, the world is in need of $4. Leaders of generational thinkers, $5. Go to Amazon, Kindle, and Gambot. Get these books for yourself. Thank you for your staggering and blessing support you've been giving me. I'm counting on you guys for more and help me drive the soul. The souls are not going. I know you guys will help me. Thank you for following me on WhatsApp and Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. Thank you so much. I want to show you in the next 15 minutes a motivation must have been entitled Make the World More Complete by Valuing Yourself. Make the world more complete by valuing yourself. Expressively, streamline your internal structures and sharpen your diversifying perspective. You understand that if you don't know your value, somebody will tell me your value for you. And therefore, if you want to make the world more complete, you have to value yourself by trying to streamline or restructure your internal structures and also sharpen your diversifying perspective about what is going on in the global world, having an IQ perspective. When you internalize those structures and sharpen your diversifying perspective, as done by a man called R.G. Latournelle, who was an inventor of heavy machines, who during his period brought heavy machines they used to, the machines they've been using for making roads, constructing roads were invented by R.G. Latournelle. Before he died, he had 300 patents in diversifying heavy machines. Because he made the world more complete by valuing himself in the invention of these heavy machines. Gravitationally, stagger the magnet in you, re-engineer your mind with that structural efficiency, with that sagging or that sagging mindset or confident mindset that you are the diamond the world is waiting for your transcendental impactfulness. As it was the mindset of Ferruccio Lamborghini, an Italian automobile designer and inventor over the period. Assertively, work towards effectuating your global convergence with the new era of speed with that level of competitive integrated edge. So assertively work towards effectuating your global convergence with that new era of speed, with that level of competitive integrated edge, as done by a man called Patrice Motsepe, that of South African, who's a South African business and mining magnate of the period. Go and watch motivation message I had on Biggs. I think amazing things. I profiled him. Go and watch him. I spoke about Patrice Motsepe over the period. There's this personal quote from Jordan Peterson. He's a Canadian psychologist. Once said that you cannot have a value structure without a stimulus discipline. That very thing that takes you, that level of discipline, that bridge of discipline, is that very thing that takes you to the pinnacle of possible life development. Relentlessly work towards giving yourself the value structure that with that confluence of massive accomplishment over the period. I want to share you a life story of a man called Walter Ellis Disney, Walter Ellis Disney, or known as Was Disney in the animation industry. Who is Was Disney? He's an American animator, a film producer, an entrepreneur, and a pioneer of American animation industry. In America, he's being touted as the pioneer of American animation industry. In 1920, Disney, when he was 18 years, he and a guy called Ouch were laid off from a company called Pexma Rubis Company. That time, the company's revenue declined over the period in 1920, so they were laid off. In 1921, he established the Laugh O Gram studio, but it became solvent. It became solvent and ran into bankruptcy. Despite this, he knew he's made up of a lot of values. He knew it was made up of substantial value that was served as a substantial or rudimental requirement for the global world. And that was not, even though he had all those things, he wasn't worried, he kept on pressing on. In 1923, Disney and his brother, Roy, established the Disney Brothers Studio, known as the Walt Disney Company. He he developed the novel animation called the Mickey Mouse. It was the development of Mickey Mouse in 1928. It was an inventive animation. That time, he created an inventive synchronized sound in the animation industry. That time was novel. Animation industry was there, continues, but nobody have created synchronized sound. That animation can talk like humans. That thing was not there. Was Disney created that? That was very palliative, becoming the pioneer of America. That made him the pioneer of American animation industry. After failing a lot of failures, he valued himself by creating that sort of inventive synchronized science in the animation industry. After a preponderance of failures, he deepened his scholarly understanding on inestimable value to create Mickey Mouse, taking himself to the pinnacle possible like development. Disney, after that Mickey Mouse, he produced other ones, the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937, the Pinocchio and Fantasia in 1940, Dumbo in 1941, Dumby in 1942, Cinderella in 1950, The Sleeping Beauty in 1959, The Many Popikins in 1969. He expanded his studio into amusement park industry in 1950. He was involved in the planning of 1959 Mexico Fair, 1960 Winter Olympic Games, in 1969 New York World Fair. Because of these achievements, because he valued himself, he didn't allow those failures, preponderance of failure he had over the period. He created Mickey Mouse and created a lot over the period, and that helped to better his value, and he achieved a very consequential and transcendental impactfulness by creating that substantial value in that field of animation. After all these failures, he put it behind him, and that was that. During his career, he got a lot of multifarious, most of pictorial awards. He had the most. He holds the most Academy Awards and most Academy Awards and nominated. He won 2 Golden Globe Awards, the Emmy Award. Several of his films were included in the U.S. National Film Registry by the Library of Congress. He won the Congressional Gold Award in 1968 from the U.S. Congress. He was inducted into the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1960. The television was inducted into the Television Hall of Fame. That one, Hollywood, was Walk of Fame. In the Television Hall of Fame in 1986, was inducted into that Hall of Fame. California, he was inducted into the California Hall of Fame in 2006. He was an inaugural recipient of the Anna Anim Walk of Stars in 2014. He's dead and gone, but his achievement, his state of mind, very, very, very stupendous to us. He is regarded as the most influential cultural futures of the 20th century because of these substantial value by valuing himself. These multifarious awards were possible because he understood he can make the world more complete by valuing himself. You can also do the same. I want to remind you, I have a lot of motivational message. Go to my channel. I use the name Motivational on YouTube. I have a lot of multifarious of these videos. Watch them, subscribe to them. I want more views. I want more subscribers. Also, YouTube, I use the name Bismarck. I have another channel. Your marriage will be a state of mind to all. I have a lot of teachings on dating and question of marriage. Watch them, subscribe to them. I have these ebooks for you guys. Go to Amazon Kindle in Gumroad. Putting your competitors in the crowded planet, $4. It will be impossible to have this world without you. $4. Your marriage will be a state of mind to the world. $5. There is something inside you the world is in need of. $4. Leaders for generational thinkers. $5. Go to Amazon Kindle, Gumroad, get these books for yourself. I have a lot of books there too. You can get for yourself. Please help me. The sales are not going. I know you guys will help me drive the sales. Thank you. The last thing I want to discuss before I close it, I end this chapter, is effectuating resplendent results with your substantial value. How do you achieve resplendent results? How do you achieve laudable results with your substantial value? How do I achieve values? How do I achieve results with my substantial value? Number one, gravitationally, let your values represent the world in you. How do you do that? By taking the world not only as it is, but the world as it will be. Uniquely position yourself to make your values a transmission mechanism through which the world will convert its challenges into myriad of opportunities. So, if you want to achieve a lot of results, resplendent results with your values, gravitation, let your values represent the world in you. How do you do that? Take the world not only as it is, but the world as it will be. And uniquely position yourself. How do you achieve that? To uniquely position yourself to make your values a transmission mechanism through which the world will convert its challenges to myriad of opportunities. As done by a man called Billy Graham. He was a U.S. presidential advisor. Billy Graham was an American pastor, theologian, evangelist over the period, who became a U.S. presidential advisor from the U.S. president, the third president Harry Truman in the 1950, down to Barack Obama. He was a U.S. advisor consistently for more than 6 decades, advising the U.S. presidents, and he's being touted as the friends of U.S. president over the period. Consistently, he knew his value and what he can contribute to the U.S. president, the U.S. economy, and the global, being a pastor over the period. Billy Graham over the period achieved that. He's no more, he said, the late Billy Graham. Again, to number 2, how do you achieve resplendent result with your substantial value? Substantial value. Number 2, perspicuously, most importantly, understand that your brain believes in what your substantial value tells you the most. Relentlessly, let your substantial value tell your brain that there is a billionaire in you. Why is it relevant? It's relevant because it helps you think like an entrepreneur, to unleash your entrepreneurial verb, to unleash your entrepreneurial verb with that confluence of transcendental impact for impeccability over the period, as done by a man called Nicky Oppenheimer, a South African business magnate over the period who has created a sort of mindset that's taking him to where he ought to be. Number 3, assertively. Rebalance yourself with explosiveness for global convergence of the results of a substantial value. How do you do that? Measure substantial values by not what you achieve, but what you need to achieve. Try to bridge. How do you do that? Try to bridge your mental distance of the results of a substantial value with the global world, their values. Both your blistering attitude of acquisitiveness over the period. So, one of the things, number 3, how do you achieve that assertively? Rebalance yourself with explosiveness. Do that global convergence. Look at your results of a substantial value with that of the global, with the level of the global level. See yourself, measure your substantial value by not what you achieve, but what you ought to achieve. Bridge that your mental distance between what you have achieved and what is the global level of achievement of your value. Work towards bridging that gap, giving yourself the blessing act of acquisitiveness, and that will help you make the world more complete with your values. As done by Manko Yu Chung-ju, a South Korean CEO of Samsung from 1996 to 2008 over the period, who had such a sort of mindset, working towards rebalancing himself with explosiveness, with that global level of convergence, with the results of substantial value, comparing what he ought to achieve, what he achieved, giving himself that mental, bridging his mental distance with the global results of its value and what he achieved and how he can bridge the distance to get to where he want to be. As done by Yu Chung-hu, a CEO of Samsung from 1996 to 2008. Number 4, leapfroggingly, overridingly or overwhelmingly, examine generated personality that help belingering underperformers not to live consistently on the thinking results of others. They help them to effectuate their substantial value for positive life development. Examine personalities over the period that have helped people leapfroggingly, help them move away from becoming belingering underperformers, move them from becoming consistent underperformers, moving them from not being consistent, depending consistent on thinking results of other people, towards effectuating their substantial value to have a pinnacle positive life development. Examine such personalities, extrapolate their pertinent panoramic strategies, and retrofitting quantifiable approaches these personalities use to help people who are belingering underperformers. They lifted them from that very, very detestable, very excruciating situation to the level they ought to be. Examine their pertinent panoramic strategies, examine their retrofitting quantifiable approach these people use. A man called Jethro True was a British agriculturalist. Jethro True was British agriculturalist who led the British agricultural revolution in the 18th century. But the period understood these things and how he helped people in the field of agronomy and agri to achieve what they ought to achieve, making them understand the value, what they are made of. Number 5, radically, strategically, position yourself to grow in your role. Whatever role you find yourself, grow in that role by operating in a competitive environment. How do you do that? By operating in a competitive environment, exposing yourself to persons that are mentally stronger than you, and build your mental endowment. Why it is relevant? It's relevant because it will reinforce your value to produce that contagion effect or that spillover effect on your group, in your community, your nations, your country, in the global world, as done by a man called John Harvard, who was one of the founders of Harvard University. There's this guy, I read a book about a story, who was a guy who finished university in Uruguay. And when he finished, he did business management and entrepreneurship. He didn't get any job. So he said that, okay, in a community, people have business are collapsing or business are collapsing, I'll help them resuscitate their business. He helped them he helped over 13 of them within a period of 4 years. And that the local government saw this guy's achievement. They helped him get a job in the local government that he can help more people at the local government level. He did that. It took him to the national level consistently over the period. He understood what it means to radically and strategically position himself and grow in his role by connecting himself to competitive environment, exposing himself to people who are mentally stronger than him, and building his mental endowment. And these are things that help. I want to remind you, thank you for your time. Go to my channel, YouTube channel. I'll use the name because I have a lot of motivational message. Watch them, subscribe to them. I want more subscribers, more views. Also, I have another channel. Your marriage will be a state of mind to what a lot of teachings on dating and courtship. Watch them and subscribe to them for me. I want more views and subscribers. Go to Amazon, Ken and Gamble. I have these ebooks for you. Build your competence in a crowded planet, $4. It will be impossible to have this world without you, $4. Your marriage will be a state of mind to the world, $5. There's something inside you, the world is in need of $4. Leaders of generational thinkers, $5. Go to Amazon, Kindle, get this ebook for yourself. Other books you can get for yourself. Thank you for your time. Remember to make the world more complete by valuing yourself. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.